She leads the Emerging Creators program here at Instagram, but also she's just an icon. Natasha Desruisseaux.
Wow. Hi. Oh my gosh, I'm an icon. I didn't know that. This is new news for me. Thank you. I've been crowned a new title today. Thank you. Hi, you guys look amazing. Welcome. So, whoops, this is me. Obviously, you guys can tell that, did the big chop in January, so we need a new headshot. But yes, let me just go back really quick, if I can. We're working with technology here. I guess I can. So anyway, I just want to say hi, welcome. I'm Natasha Desruisseaux. I lead emerging creators here in the partnerships programs team for Instagram. And basically what that means is that I have the opportunity to work with emerging creators on a day-to-day basis, which some of you, probably some people in this room, my team works with. And we thought to start off our little chat is to just kind of give you a little school about Instagram before we have a really fun conversation with our three lovely panelists, which will be coming out shortly. So why don't we get started? So 3.1 billion. That is, I know, wow, I heard that. 3.1 billion. That is the amount of people around the world who use our platforms. That means that's more than a third of our world population. That is the access that all of you have when you actually use our platform and you're putting out your content. So, right? It's kind of crazy when you see the numbers out loud. Now, who can raise their hand here and tell me if they remember the days when Instagram was this cute little square photo app? Oh, that's a lot more than I anticipated. Okay. Well, as I'm sure you've experienced, a lot has changed. And yes, I heard all that yes. And we've evolved. And just like everybody evolves in time and in life, your friends evolve, your audience evolves, their taste evolves. And there was a time where you cared about that single photo. You cared about how it looked, what filter you had. You cared about how many clicks and likes you had. But nowadays, that's not the vibe. People want authenticity. They want relatable content. And so as we evolved, as you can see, our surface has evolved. We have our, obviously feed, which you guys can put your photos, carousels. We also have reels, which we'll definitely get into, and stories, as well as live. So that way you can connect with your audience in real time. And in addition to that, we have some other newer tools that we put out over the past year. So Notes. Notes is a really fun way to kind of share thoughts with your audience and friends about what's happening. Like the other day, actually flying in here. I live in LA, by the way. I'm not a New York girly. Maybe one day. But I live in LA, and then I was taking kind of what is harder, red-eye flights or pre-dawn flights? And then folks were just chiming in. It was a 50-50, by the way. Nobody gave me any direct answers on that. I still struggle. I don't know which one's harder. And then we have broadcast channels. Anybody here use broadcast channels? Anybody? Okay, a few. So for those who don't, broadcast channels is a way for you to DM your fans directly. It's kind of like a personal message that you give to them for your ride or dies, those that really, really want to support what you're doing. It's also a good way to kind of give exclusives when you have merch drops, if you're doing any kind of a product launch or some kind of exclusive thing that you want, and you want to give them the insights first. This is a perfect surface to do that. And then we have Threads. Who has Threads in here? Yay, I love it. Threads is turning 1 year. Yes, I know, already, yes. And so with that, I would like to say Threads, if you guys didn't know, has over 150 million monthly users on the platform, which is kind of bizarre since we launched it a year ago. It's an easy way to kind of test things out, lightweight, text-based content. And also, if this is another side of you that you want to express, this is a perfect platform to do that. The algorithm. Hot topic. Hot topic. So, and the T is, there's no singular algorithm. Oh, sad to disappoint you. So, real talk about the algorithm is that there really is no singular one. For each tool, feed, stories, explore, reels, search, each has its own algorithm. So the way Instagram ranks things very differently. For example, people use stories for their closest friends. They use explore to discover creators, to discover, content. And then reels is really to be entertained. So think of the algorithm as a way of how you access your friends and family more. So for instance, I super close to my brother and sister. So I will read out, check out their stories, like their feed posts, because I want to see what's going on with my nieces and my nephews. So I will constantly get them service to me. But I'm also vibing Meg right now. She's on tour, right? She's given us all the content. I'm loving watching her doing the backstage dancing with her dancers, how she's interacting with Glow, how she's, showing herself. So I'm getting her service in addition to my family's content at the same time. So the algorithm says, this is what you want to see, I'm going to keep giving this to you. Oh, yeah, see, I love this, we're learning, we're getting, I love it, thank you. So as a creator, what does that mean for you? Now, before I kind of dig into some of the tips and tricks of our best practices, engagement is a two-way street. So things to think about. So although you definitely want a lot of engagement with your content as you're putting it out there, your audience wants to have some two-way conversation with you as well. So a good way to help your engagement is to like comments, respond to comments, respond to DMs. If you don't have the bandwidth to actually respond to a ton of people, which is understandable, liking it is an easy way. So you should think about engagement with your content as kind of like that friend you constantly invite out to go get drinks, to meet up for brunch, and they're always like, girl, I'm not available, I can't do it, and then you stop asking them. This is the way to think about your engagement with your content as well. Okay, so our feed inspo. So here's just some tips about how you can navigate your feed when you're putting up your content. Again, remember, authenticity is great, and this is really what we find is what audiences are reacting to these days. So you want exclusives and the highlights of your life. And what that means is it's whatever it is you're excited about. People want to see those things. So graduations, college acceptance, your first brand deal, that kind of content. Carousels. Carousels is kind of I would say it's a high and low way of thinking about it. It can be themed, or it can be completely random dump. I like to use carousels at the wrap up of every month and kind of say this is my dump for May, or this is my dump for this. And it's from places that I've been, ate, to the laziness being at home on the couch. Whatever is whatever. Get over the idea that you have to have a perfect grid. I know that's really hard for people to get off of that mindset with IG, but really I want to break the shackles off of us, please. Release the grid aesthetic mindset, okay? Use the grid as a way to promote your content and who you are. The only person, maybe or two, that care might be an ex or somebody that's stalking your grid. But other than that, no one is really criticizing your grid. And the algorithm is not checking for aesthetics. Also, just want to put that out there. What the algorithm cares about is your content. Is it good? That's it. Collaboration is another great way to do this as well. So collaborate with your friends, creators, people that you've met here today. This is an opportunity for you guys to network and then potentially do some kind of collabs. And another tip, in case you didn't know, the person that has the biggest followers is the one that you should pretty much use to distribute that, because that helps the distribution for both of you. Pin your content, it helps organize it if that's your vibe, and then play around with audio, pictures in your carousel. Okay, stories. As we said, stories is like a friends and family approach. It's quick, it's authentic, it's the stuff that you put out there, but there's, you should test out other formats to make it engaging as well. Using the stickers or polls, the questions. One of my favorites is using the countdown. You can, when a big announcement's supposed to happen or an event that you're dropping. This is a great way to do it. And you can also gamify your stories. So perfect example is when Beyonce dropped Cowboy, Carter. A lot of people were doing the what's your favorite track? What's this? Another great opportunity. I don't know if anybody's a Game of Thrones fan. I am. Okay, so House of Dragons just dropped. Okay, Team Black or Team Green? Okay, right? Yes, all right. So that kind of content is what I've been seeing. So this is just a fun way to keep it relevant, but also super engaging, and you get that kind of call and response way. And lastly, don't forget to highlight. Highlight is a good way to showcase your story. So if you have an epic vacation, life milestone, this is a great way to make your stories from temporary to long-lasting. Another thing, how you can transition your stories from going into temporary into helping with your content, funny takes. So somebody who wakes up from a nap and can't remember what day it is, so then I put this out on Threads, because I do use Threads as a way to have a personal dialogue with myself. Great pictures. So sometimes you post that picture on stories and you're like, oh, that should have been on the feed. That was really a good one. I should have saved that. You can still do that. Drop it in your feed. It's all good, and that will help with your distribution. And then obviously Reels. You can turn your stories into a reel, and what that does is that it helps you, people who don't know you, who don't follow you, find you. Oh. Yes. Okay. So if you didn't know, yes, 50% of all time spent on Instagram is on Reels. I love this. I'm just going, yes. So, and here's another number, because I work at a tech company. We love stats. 3.5 billion Reels every single day get shared across Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, so I don't know about you all, but my close friend chats, we don't really use words. I don't text. We just share Reels, and then that expresses the mood. So when someone tries you, you go girl, boom, and then they already automatically understand what just happened. So just to know that's the power of Reels and what that is all about. So now I want to I know I'm speeding through, because I'm a little bit. I can slow down. You guys need some more, or are we good? Okay, because I know you guys have been here all day, and okay, awesome. So effective ways to have a good Instagram. You want to create, you want to have engaging content, and then again, power of Reels. It's really important that your content is engaging. And some ways to have that, using trending audio. Now, I spoke to a creator not too long ago who, as a way for her to kind of find a creative inspiration, she sometimes will pick her trending audio, and then that will help inspire her into what kind of content she actually wants to put based off of the song that she's using. Remix is an easy feature. It's a light lift, because all you have to do is find a reel that's inspirational, that you like, react to it, and add your personality to it. And then last is templates. Templates is when you want to use, if you don't have that energy, or you just don't even know how you want it to vibe, there's so many templates. I use it all the time, and it's a good way to just kind of put your content in there, but it does the work for you. Now, how Reels, I don't want to assume everybody knows Reels and how to make their Reels and what they should be doing with their Reels. So we're just going to give some tips because I think a refresher is always helpful. So vertical. Your content should always be vertical because you want it to take up the full space of the actual window of the phone. That's how people like to see it. Not everybody's comfortable with this, but another way that's really engaging is if you talk to the camera, like you're FaceTiming a friend. This makes it makes you more engaging and the content you're saying, so therefore you, and entertaining, so therefore you tend to get better distribution that way as well. Again, may not be your style, but for those who are willing to try it, try it. Make your content relatable and approachable. Now what that means is relatable storytelling and approachable production quality. It does not have to be perfect, but people want to see you, they want to hear you, and they want to feel like the content that you're making is something that can be replicated at home themselves. So good quality means just good lighting, good sound, so that way we can hear what you're saying, we can see what you're doing. The first 3 seconds is usually how you grab somebody. So if you're putting out content, that first 3 seconds is what needs to grab someone's attention. And then, as I said, trending audio. Captions and stickers are great because not everybody uses stuff. Like I find this, I don't know how many Gen Zers are in here, but Gen Z don't listen to audio. They don't. They put it on mute and they read it. So if you are trying to watch and you're sending your content, you want them to, they still want to watch it, but they read the actual captions rather than listening. So or if people are in just a different area. So sometimes it's helpful to just add those captions on your content. You're welcome. And then of course, collaboration. So how to help your distribution and how to hurt your distribution. So as I mentioned before, engage with your audience, respond to those comments. This is all the helpful stuff, right? You want to be able to like and reply comments, create shareable content. When you're posting, you should know what time or what days your audience actually is engaging with your content. So you should look at your insights. That's really important so you know how your content's doing on particular days and particular times. And the way to do that is really easy. You go to your Pro Dash, you go to your total followers, scroll all the way to the bottom, and then you'll see all the information there. So that's a helpful way to know when you can drop content. Good quality, again, upload best resolution as possible. Here's something. Post your content the same time you post on your other platforms. We know you use other platforms. We are not ignorant to that. There's no bad word. We know TikTok exists. We know YouTube exists. All of that. Please use all of that. But it's also helpful for you that if you're posting on TikTok, you want to be able to put it on IG at the same time, because what happens is if you do something on TikTok, someone else can share it and you're not getting the distribution for that. So this is why we say do it at the same time. And so now here's how you can hurt some of your distribution. Avoid gaming the system. Just be you. Number one. Reels over 90 seconds for non-followers tends to not be as great. So you need to find your sweet spot. It could be 15 to 30 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds, 60 seconds. So play around with it because you're at the same time as you're engaging new followers, anything over 90, your fans will sit and listen to what you have to say for 5 minutes or 2 minutes, whatever. But new people, within that first window is where we find that past 90 seconds is where there's a drop off. Remove watermarks, take them labels off. We want clean photos, so don't do that. And then most really, really, really important, don't post unoriginal content. That will hurt you. So make sure it's yours, you own it, and then if you put songs on there, that the artist is getting credit for that music as well. So this is like normal, consistency is key. We all know this. It's just like saying, I want my summer bod, right? But the only way for me to get that is I have to go to the gym 3 days a week and, not eat the cinnamon buns. Same thing with Reels. You have to post consistently. Your audience needs to know that if you're dropping a video today, they don't know when the next time you're gonna put out some content. So we found that creators who have had great growth, net follower growth, I should say, on average, post 10 or more Reels a month. Now that is like roughly that's about 3-4 a week. Now, of course, there's no magic bullet, and every situation is different, but that is the average of what we've seen where people find most success with their Reels. And obviously, your cadence is going to work for you. So again, play around with it, see what your sweet spot is, and then you'll find your rhythm there. Okay, so now I'm going to get into a little bit of serious stuff, but this is like the stuff that I think is really helpful, is staying safe and secure on our app. We really want to be able to give you guys the tools that make the experience positive, where you feel like you have control and you know what is happening on your account. So, screenshot this page, please. Thank you. So, everybody, 2FAC, please turn on if you haven't. You need to the scammers are scamming y'all, like really, right? So do not click on things that slightly seem off. Protect yourself on that. This email is in the event that it does happen, you can at least try to access it from a desktop versus trying to use the app on your phone. Now, account setting. This is where you can really get control of it. Again, remember, 3.1 billion people are on our platforms. We have people that work at the company that work on this day to day to make sure you guys stay safe. And sometimes things get taken down that may or may not should have been taken down. And it is frustrating. Okay, that's happened over here? Okay. Okay. So, I know, I know it's frustrating. So, but account setting is a way to help you to avoid the mystery of wondering, is my content good? Am I violating any, regulations? Or maybe I'm not doing the right things. So you can also use the account status to appeal when things are, you get a flag. You're not being you can't monetize on a piece of content, or something's not being recommended or flagged. This is where this happens. So get familiar with account setting and use that as well. And here's another, section that I think is important. This is where you guys have a lot of control, especially for things that you may or may not want to engage with at all. So when it comes to tags, there's a lot of control. There's a lot of options here that can help you control your interactions on your account. So for instance, you can tag who can tag you in your post, whether it's everybody, only your followers, or no one. You can customize this and manually approve tags. So when you turn this on, you can review any pending tags, you can approve tags, you can remove tags, you can also hide them and do this in bulk, about 15 at a time. Mention controls is similar to tags, but it allows you to mention in your stories, notes, comments, or whatever, who can mention you. So that's what you want to use that for. And those who don't have access, that you didn't give access to, they'll know, because in the way it seems is you're not accepting anyone to make any mentions at all. And then we have follower controls. So this is a recently new feature that we have where you can, check out categories. For instance, you can check out the audiences that you follow, the ones that you interact with the least, as well as potential spammy accounts. So for instance, I had dinner with a fashion creator on Tuesday, and he grew pretty much over the past year. But with that growth, he recognized that he was getting a lot of negative comments, more than he had before. And so he was telling me how he uses a lot of these tools to help him clear out the stuff that he doesn't want to see or hear. Now, I know it takes time and it's some effort, but it's that peace of mind and well-being that you want to really kind of like own onto. So I highly recommend like just taking the extra time to like really curate your mentions. So here, the network. So this is an organization, well, it's a group that we have within Instagram. It's called the Network by We the Culture. It's an opportunity for people to like get information. You can get invited to things, as well as just like connect with the community of people, especially who are pushing the culture forward. So if you are interested in being a part of the network, screenshot the QR code and you'll be able to apply there. So I know I just gave a lot of information in like 10 minutes. And then it's gonna take you some time to like absorb some of that and really like, but settle with it, you know, play around with it, experiment with it. And at the end of the day, we want you to have a good time on our app. We want you to have fun. We want your content to do well. So thankfully, our school session is done. We are now ready, yes? Oh yeah, wait, let me see if I can go back. I don't know if I can go. There we go. Yes. Are our ladies ready? Okay, I'm gonna move here. But we have our 3 amazing, lovely, beautiful, talented, creative creators who are coming here today. We have Melinda Berry, Elsa Majimbo, and Shalom Black. I love it, love it.
Oh, the phone is good.
Drink right here. Hello. Hi. Welcome, welcome. Beautiful.
Thank you.
All of you. I'm so excited that you guys are here. We chatted a little bit the other day, but like it's lovely to see you guys in person. So let's start, because I know that everybody's been here all day and they're just super excited to hear from you. So, there are some different creators in this room at different stages of their careers. Could you share about how your journey, how long it's taken on your journey, experimentation, how did you build your community authentically? I know that's like a 3-part question, so you can pull what you want from that. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Melinda.
Melinda, go
Oh,
ahead.
come on. That's very interesting. I actually started out on Instagram, and I was doing a bunch of like fashion TikToks and runways here and there, and it didn't really get me anywhere. So I feel like my career took off once I did television. Like I did my first show and then grew overnight. So I can't really say that I've like struggled because I got lucky, to be honest. Like a draw from the straw, and it was like bam, 1 million followers overnight. So
Sometimes that's what it is.
yeah, for a Black woman too, hit that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Bam, bam.
Elsa?
I think for me, it took a lot of being myself and a lot of believing in myself. And because I did that, my audience always knew what to expect because I always showed them the real me. So I built my audience based on being myself, and my audience knows me because they know who I am. So it's all worked together.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say I grew based on like being vulnerable and I guess relatable in a way. So I started off first on YouTube, and I really got on just because I wanted to get clientele because I was a makeup artist, and I wanted to show my skills. And then from there, I saw like people doing like makeup videos, and at first when I got on, I really didn't know that that was what YouTube was used for. I thought it was just like music videos, Yeah. And so when I came across a YouTube video, I'm like, okay, let me put, my work out there. And then there was like this video going around that was a trend. So I decided to partake in that trend. And then it just kind of blew up from there. And then my Instagram, followed lead. So that's kind of how, a lot of people discover me from that one video.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Do you remember the video that helped you?
Yes, so the video is called Power of Makeup.
Okay.
And so basically, you do your makeup where you do one side of your face and then the other you don't. And as a burn survivor, I guess it was kind of like a shock factor for people to see someone like that. And it was a very vulnerable moment for me to like show myself on camera without makeup and then show one side without it. So, yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Selfish question. What is your favorite IG feature?
Ooh, I think is being able to like link, my other platforms. I think it makes it easier to like be able to like, grow the other platforms while using Instagram, as well as like the messages being filtered a little bit, because sometimes there's a lot of, nonsense messages that you get. So just being able to kind of separate those, it's cool. So yeah.
Yeah, the filtering message thing is really cool, especially like when you want to read someone's message but you don't want them to see, and you restrict the account and you go read the message. I love that one.
Yeah.
I would say the same exact thing, as well as filtering certain words you don't want on your comments.
Yeah.
Like, I love that, because you ain't about to call me this kind of name, and I'm gonna like block out the words and just filter it out.
We're not doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I'm gonna like segue. I'm gonna, instead of switching it over here. Speaking of, as you mentioned, like words, what would you say, you guys are all successful, I would say for sure, because it does take a lot of work to reach this level that you have. And so congrats to you. I want you guys to understand that and say like, congratulations. But also, what has been rewarding for being a Black creator?
I would say the most rewarding part about it is having a younger audience that DM me and they're just like, wow, like you inspire me to step out of my shell, my comfort zone, and it's great to see a Black woman like you. I see a lot of you in myself, and it kind of just makes me happy knowing that I'm doing the right things and I'm inspiring a younger crowd, because I do have eight sisters, so I do come from a big family. So for me to have like those tiny girls, it kind of reminds me of being like a big sister, being like, wow, I'm doing something, because you might not know, she might be an only sibling, and I might be her big sister to her.
Yeah.
So that kind of just makes me happy knowing that I'm inspiring just young girls.
I love that. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I would say being able to do what I love, and make friends and connection while making money at the same time.
Yes.
Like, I think it's such a blessing, so it's great, yeah.
Elsa, you have a thought?
I think the support from other Black people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Black people really support their own, and just of the folks, they want to see another Black person shine. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that. Now, obviously, the flip side to that, what has been the hardest things that you've experienced as being, especially as you've grown and building your platforms, some of the challenges as being a Black creator? Because you all mentioned about filtering, so I can assume I know what that is, but would like to share with the group as like what that experience is like.
Now, I feel the more you grow, the more people you're exposed to, and the more people come at you for no reason. So that one is just, people will hate you for no reason.
Yeah.
And I'm sure both of you have gone through that. People who don't know you, they've not met you. They just don't like you.
Yeah.
So I think that one's just like a bit, why? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I would say the same thing. It really does put you in a vulnerable place that people think they could say anything to you. I've gotten really awful comments. And being the fact that, I open myself up thinking like, okay, yeah, people are receptive, but I think when you gain a certain level of confidence in yourself, a lot of people feel a bit intimidated by that. And then the comments that come with that can be very hurtful. So I think just kind of having like that balance of like, okay, I'm sharing, but I'm not sharing too much. So yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with both of them. Like for me, it's tough because I do come from TV and then I do come from like social media influencing. So I get kind of like the back end of both. One with content creators, and I feel like I'm never good enough to reach that type of milestone that they're at, and not personally say like my people. Like when I see like other people of a different race and they're like getting these big brand deals or brands that I love, I'm just like, but why can't I get that? So it kind of hurts me a little bit.
Yeah.
But then also with TV is the same exact thing. It's like, well, this and then it's that, and then I get like bad comments, and it's just like kind of like overwhelming to a certain extent. So.
I hear you on that. So as you navigate that, because I think this is a great segue, and we sort of touched on this, how do you maintain your mental health, and how do you remain balanced?
I'm cursing them out, girl. I'm cursing them out. No, I'm kidding.
Hey,
I want to.
that is therapy, though. That can be cathartic.
In my brain,
Sometimes you gotta do it.
Your mother. No. But I want to, but I gotta be like, no, because they're gonna screenshot and drag me. I'm not about to do it. So I gotta filter to the most extreme and be like, you know what? Block. And then sometimes like I would just turn my phone off for a weekend and detox, hop in the shower. I'm lying, I ain't doing none of that. I'm just literally turning my phone off and like, I ain't got time for this. So yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I just kind of let myself, I just let myself spiral.
Okay.
So I believe if you let it all out.
That's true, though. I feel you.
Sometimes you need to. And it's really good for you because I lose my mind and after 1 week, I promise you like you're good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that.
No, but
I'm gonna try that.
I was going to say that's healthy too. I think
So
so.
healthy.
So am I getting the green light?
I think
No, you hold nothing inside. Green light.
Just let it go. For me, it's just taking a break, you know? And I feel like I am still working it out to see what works for me, but it's exiting out at like the comments, you know? Because some people, I don't know, I just feel like there's a time that I got a comment from somebody and I responded back, and then they responded back being happy that I responded back. So to me, it made me realize
it's like
that.
bait?
Exactly. It made me realize that, okay, you just wanted a response from me, you know? And it's so awful that you had to do it in such a negative way. So sometimes when I see the comments, I literally would just either call one of my friends or my partner and just like, look at this, you know? Either I would laugh about it and just be like, I can't believe somebody would say something like that, but just taking that break. But I feel like that's a good one. I wish I had it in me to just go off, but yeah.
So I know this is talked about, but not all the time. And you sort of touched on this. How do you find the industry being equitable? Listen, don't come at me. Listen, we're having dialogue.
Y'all dialogue.
Elsa, you.
No, I'll let them go first.
There you go.
Of course not. I'm pretty sure we are all aware. I see a lot of, obviously, us, you know, that it's much harder for us to, you know, have the same opportunity and being paid the same way, even though the numbers might match, you know. I can't tell you why. I just feel like either they just don't think that we have the market to like bring it in, but when I look around, I'm just like, a lot of Black people wear makeup, you know? We are one of the biggest consumers, so why are we not being paid that, you know, equally? So I don't think it's equal, you know? There's a lot of things that I have done, or friends that I have that have told me, you know, stories that they had, you know, and I think it's very important for us to like talk about those payment gap and stuff, you know? Because one of my friends, I'm sorry, when I have conversation, I like to give an example.
Please, go for it.
One of my friends, he has like 12 million on TikTok, right? Had a partnership and he was offered like 20K. And then someone that had smaller account was offered like 80.
What?
You know, and so it was at the beginning of his career, like he blew up like that. So he wasn't sure. So he thought, 20K. I mean, yeah, it's great. You know what I mean? But to finally hear someone that has smaller can negotiate to get, way more than you, that could be, very helpful, hurtful. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
I don't
hard.
think it's equal. Yeah.
Have you ever challenged a brand?
Yeah, I think it really does. I think for us, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it's very scary to like go back, especially when you kind of feel like, okay, this is good money, like who's really giving me this much,
Yeah.
So you feel like, okay, I'm not really gonna negotiate. But I think at the beginning of my career, I really had an amazing manager that he knew my worth more than I knew my worth. So there were times that he like challenged back and got me like an amount that I never thought I could ever get. So, yeah, sometimes I think it's great, but it can be very scary because you really feel like they will just go to the next person. But I would say like when a brand comes to you is because they want you. You have something to offer. So don't be scared to kind of go back and forth, So, yeah.
I definitely agree with her, but there's something I feel like brands do is that like they need that token black girl. A lot of them, because if you go on some of these trips, you'll see a majority of them are,
Not. Okay.
and then you'll see maybe about 2 black girls. I'm just like, where's the rest of us?
Yeah.
But there are some brands that get it, and they are very inclusive. And sometimes they do get backlash, but then it's like, once they hear it, they fix it. And then you go back, you're like, oh, you're listening. And some brands actively go out their way to be more inclusive.
Okay.
And they get the backlash, like they hear it. But there was something I wanted to touch on that you said about the payment difference. Sometimes I feel like some of these brands, they have their blueprint. Like when I say blueprint, blue eyes, blonde hair is the biggest seller for any makeup brand. That's because their target audience is going to be that type of audience. Yes, we are the biggest consumers, but when you look at all these advertisements, what do you see?
Yeah.
That's the consumer they're appealing to. And then when you get in diversity, there's that one token black girl, but she's not really what the selling point is. It's just like, oh, she's there, don't come at me.
Yeah.
I added her.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm rambling, I'm just.
No. This is we're chatting. We're having a good chat. Any comments?
Yeah, I think it's a very disappointing thing to see.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak on what I've observed. When I'm scrolling on social media, right, and I'm seeing ad campaigns or things that people are doing, influential people or influencers. Sometimes it will be a white influencer I haven't heard about in ages doing a campaign, and a black influencer whose every other video goes viral, and then then never booked. And it's just crazy to see, and it's like, it doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. If you guys are really working on numbers and you're working, then why is it the ones with the numbers? I don't see them doing ads for any of you. So,
Yes.
yeah. It's an annoying thing to see.
I hear you. I feel you. So, I'm trying to think. I want to keep talking about this because I feel like this is important. How, and you brought this up, it's more of like having dialogue, right? And then continuously calling out or being open with each other about sharing experiences, and also, like you said, the pay gap, because that's the only way that you can catch up. Do you find that people are open to having those kind of, especially your peers and into the creator space, open to doing that? Or is it like 50-50?
I would say 50-50.
Okay.
There's still, a lot of people that kind of feel like, oh, it's taboo to talk about
Money.
Exactly money. But I feel like the more we kind of have this kind of conversation, people are like more receptive to, listen in and be like, okay, yeah, we do need to, talk about it. Like, girl, how much do they offer you? I don't think it really hurts, but I also understand if somebody doesn't feel comfortable, diverging that information. So.
Okay. And I'm just like in my head listening to you guys, and I'm just like, so in your while you're making your content, and I know you have your filters, but do you ever find that you get inspiration or like that feel-good moment reading your comments, getting those DMs, and like, does that help spark any kind of like lightness into your days when you see those?
Absolutely, because for me, I'm all about quality over quantity.
Yeah.
I'd rather put out good quality content and know that like I'm getting the response that I know that deserves, because I know how much work I put into that, versus just pumping things out and being like, one of these are going to hit. Yeah. So I'm more of a quality person, but yeah. I lost track of what I was saying.
No, you got it. You got it.
I did. No, I don't got it.
You got it. You got it. You got it.
I lost track.
I got it.
Yeah, sometimes it's cool to see people say, oh, I really like this about you, I really like that about you. But I learned a long time ago to let go of people's validation. And I love that there are some people who love me.
Yeah.
But the internet is such a scary place. They love you today, tomorrow, did you see what she tweeted in 2014?
That, I do agree with that. I think it's all about having a balance, like comments can be great, and sometimes like you can allow it to like take over, So I do like to have like a mixture of like, okay, it's not just praise, but also it's not just negative, So having that balance is great. Yeah.
Do you remember, well, I know you said your music, but I just want to tap out, like that first time, that first video, that first content that went viral, what was that like for you?
Ooh, it was crazy. It was scary. And I think what we don't really talk about is like when you have that viral moment, you start to like either doubt yourself because you want to be able to recreate that moment again. And when you feel like the next video that you posted doesn't go viral, you start to like really get in your head, like, So honestly, at the beginning of my career, I moved to LA and I had to move back home because I was dealing with so much anxiety of being a failure, And that's literally the time that I was making the most money that I've ever made, getting all this opportunity, but internally, I was just dealing with so much of like, oh, I'm going to fail, So I had to move back, take a break. But I do think that, it's great, but it can also be scary to have those moments. So I think it's great when you kind of like start slowly and you grow, but that one time when it just kind of happens so quick, especially when you're just getting on, it can be hard. At least for me, I know it was, so yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, when my first video went viral, I didn't have much going on for me, to be honest. Like, I really didn't have much going on for me. I had school. I really didn't like that. I had failed a class. I was in my first year. I was already failing a class. So I was like, this has to work out.
Yeah.
And
Has to. Yes.
And like Shalom is saying, you want to recreate that moment. And everyone is telling you, oh, you went viral once, stop this right now.
One hit wonder. Yeah, they love to say that.
One hit wonder, oh, they already start to tell you you've fallen off, And I got a lot of that, but I just kept going because I didn't really have many other options.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were surviving.
I was surviving.
You were surviving.
Yeah.
And you were like, this is going to work because this is it.
Going to,
I have to eat. This has to work. I love that.
I had my first ever viral moment. It was when I had my first billboard up in Times Square. And I think it was me running all the way from lower Manhattan all the way up to Times Square. And that did numbers. I ran in heels to see it.
Wow.
And that did like 23 million like views. And I was just like, holy crap, people like me?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is nice. And I had like she was saying, like a high, a rush. But I ain't trying to recreate it because I ain't going
Yeah,
to hills
it is,
again.
it is.
So I'm like, that was my one moment. But then
Yeah.
it does feel nice. And it does feel weird because you're like, oh, man, what do I do
What
next?
else?
Yeah.
What do I do next to kind of keep this flow going? Then you get kind of trapped with trying to keep it authentic. And then you start to overthink and want to do things that you wouldn't normally want to do. And then you start to kind of lose yourself. So it's an equal like balance for me. I'm like, okay, it's a great moment, but then it gets scary because all those people looking at the video and you're trying to figure out how to navigate it, and everybody's in your business, and it's just like, holy crap, 23 million,
Yeah.
which is nothing now. Seeing like everyone goes viral now. It's like, oh, there's 50 million and 80 million. I'm like, oh, well, that was nothing that I did.
It was something. It was something. 20.
It was
By the
good.
way, it's not that easy. It really is not that easy. I just want to call that out. So,
Perfect timing. It was just perfect timing for me, and it just
sometimes
happened.
it's a thing that hits, but I also
Yep.
just think that like massive numbers like that it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
So just give you guys
I never hit that number
extra
again
pat.
after that.
So as we talk about like that moment that catapulted and then shifted things for you, you had no choice. You said this was it, right? Are there other career goals? Like is there a what's next or a and to what you're doing?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, just the moving to LA, you know, I mean, I got into fashion. Look at me.
Yes.
So I moved into fashion. I've done like a few things on TV here and there. So just as I'm figuring things out, because I'm also really young, so I don't want to put all my focus there. So I'm focusing on figuring it out and having fun. And the good thing is that I'm popular enough to make like content, make money off of it, and still figure shit out. So
Yeah.
that's exactly what I'm having fun with it.
Yes.
I love that. Yes. Good. I love that.
For me, I love interior design and I love fashion, and so that's kind of like what I am trying to move into. You know, I would love to be the person to like come into houses and do someone's interior, and as well as like I started my clothing line, but I am taking a break to reevaluate. But yeah, I do want to have my fashion brand, so that is basically what I'm working on right now. Yeah.
Television, as you know, reality TV, and kind of maybe get back into hosting.
Okay.
Not sure, but like you guys said, having fun and just enjoying life, but definitely trying to break barriers and keep pushing those bars higher and not letting he say, she say stop me.
Good. Good. And I believe in like putting things out there. So like yes, and yes.
Yes.
To all of it.
you.
So you are going to continue to have fun. You will get your interior design happening, business company, homes, and the next show, the next thing, yes, it will happen. Now, as speaking about dreaming big and going after what you want, what advice would you have for an up-and-coming creator or just creators in general as to like how, you know, any advice about like navigating being a creator to making this a career? What would you say? If you had to give like a couple of nuggets of advice.
I would say consistency. I think that is 100% key. And one of the things that I feel like kind of works for me is just being a part of like the trend. What is trending? You know what I mean? You can turn it into your own thing. Because I know I grew my platform based on like what was trending. And then from there, like when I did it, obviously, like I said before, you guys can tell I'm a burn survivor. So I did make it like into my thing, even though I was just, you know, being a part of a trend. So it's like, take parts in those trends. That's like the thing that people are seeing right now. Get noticed, and then when people go on your page, you're like, oh, okay, I like everything else that this person has on their page, you know. So I feel like that's a way to grow your platform. But definitely consistency is key. Right now, it might not look like it, but I've seen a lot of people that have just started. Like my friend that I said that has like 12 million. I remember the first time I met him, you know, he was just telling me, I want to do content. TikTok comes out, and he starts TikTok, and he has 12 million on TikTok, you know, and I have like 800. So it's like, you know, you just never know what could happen. So just put yourself out there if that's what you want to do, and just be authentic to yourself. Yeah.
I would say find your niche, find what makes you happy, and focus on it. Don't get derailed by what you see and feel discouraged if you're not putting out what they're doing. Honestly, just again, like find your niche, focus on it, and put out the quality of content that you want to put out, and be proud of what you put out.
That's great.
I think a lot of the times the problem with putting out content is not the scary thing, not the strangers seeing it, but the people we know. Till today, till today when I'm dating someone, when they tell me they've seen my content, I say, oh God. I'm like, why did you do that? Like, why would you watch that? Even when people watch my videos in front of me, I'm like, can you turn that off? You know? So I feel like that's what we're scared of, the people we know and how they perceive us.
Yeah.
So that's, it never goes away. Like you have to thug it out. You really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually a good point about the people who know you and now see the content and how they respond to it or not. Yeah. And any of that, like judgment or not on that.
Yeah.
That's a different perspective of thinking. Okay, we have like 2 minutes, so I'm just gonna do some, are there any questions? Yeah. Young woman in the front.
Hi, beautiful ladies.
Hey.
So I love all of you guys' work. Elsa, I feel like you put smiles on people's faces during the pandemic, so thank you for that.
Yes.
Do you guys find that your most viral videos or viral moments are videos that you put a lot of work into, or is it the one that you just randomly threw together and it hits?
The random.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like most of the times it's like the random videos that I don't put that much energy into. Yeah.
Yeah, people usually pick out tidbits you didn't even think twice about.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh my goodness, when she said that line, that was so funny. Like, yeah, so it'll just be like random stuff all the time, I would say.
Yeah, totally agree. 9 times out of 10 for me, it's something that I kept in my draft from like a year ago, and I'm just like slapping it out, and then I'm like, oh, it did numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Any other questions? Oh.
Hey.
Hey, girl.
I was wondering, when it comes to consistency, what does that look like to you guys in your day-to-day schedule, or how do you go about, staying consistent?
That tells you right there.
Everyone went blank.
So for me, I would say I really started, at first I would just like get up, if I felt like filming, I would film. But like now I'm like, okay, truly this is my job and I'm going to treat it as that. So I do the 9 to 5 at home, because now I do have a child. So I'm like, okay, thank God I do have a partner that's very hands-on, but I do like filming, and I'm an early morning person, so I like to wake up in the morning and do whatever filming I need to be done. And then by like 4 or 5 o'clock, I'm done. And now I'm like in mommy mode. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Yeah. I try to get because I feel like with, especially shorter form content, you can do so many short form content. Like if I'm getting ready, I can do okay, just my makeup, that's one video. And then one video can just be of me talking about my favorite products, So yeah.
Right up in the front.
Okay, this is a really serious question. Don't laugh at me.
While she's laughing and asking the question not to laugh at. Okay, I love this.
So I really, really want to make more of an effort to share my life. And I'm always wondering, how do you do it? I get up, I wake up, I'm running to the bathroom, I'm whatever. But is the camera already preset? Do you have cameras everywhere in every room and set to a time? I just want to know the secret, because I've tried and it just looks ridiculous, because I'm like, okay, let me go back outside and walk back in again. And then it's not real anymore. So
Vanessa,
please help me.
When I tell you,
even as a content creator, I know how that works, but when I watch other people's video, I'm just like, there's no way you don't have just multiple cameras just like waiting for you to walk. But no, like you literally have to do it over and over again. I'm telling you. I was just at the airport, me and my friend, we were coming. I was like, okay, I'm going to do, recording my day. I'm at the airport changing angles. Us coming and then us like from the back angle, and I'm running back and forward. So yeah, it's awkward, but when you edit it, it looks
But that's
great.
the work. So really, it is like it's work. It's
no, it's not preset.
I was hoping.
You got it, girl.
There's no secret.
A few takes and you got it.
Hi. So I'm a working makeup artist, and I struggle with being in the moment of being an artist, right? Where you want to be engaged with your client, you want to be engaged with your work, and at the same time capture the content. And now you got to go home and edit the content. Like you're wiped out because you worked, right? Like it's very hard to kind of balance the both of them, especially if you have a brand, right? So you also want to be able to just speak to your clients. So it's like, how do I show myself in the work and show up and everything? And then also how not for it to be awkward, like for it to be, I'm in this moment, just like in platforms here. Like when I go to events, I see everyone with their phones, everyone capturing content. And it's like, I want to do that too. At the same time, I want to be in this moment.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say the best thing that you can do, if you like have the budget, definitely hire someone and strictly have them for that purpose. Like if you know you're going to be busy that day, strictly with a client, tell your partner or your friend, hey, I'm going to pay you this much, I need content. So you can kind of take your mind off of trying to get it, and you know that you have someone that's going to get it for you consistently and don't have to worry about it. So you can be your true, authentic self without struggling to get that little moment.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think that's it. All
No!
we have time for. That was fast. I know.
What?
Look how fast that was. I know.
Well, damn.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.